This better be one hell of a joke.
George, it's good to see you.
What's going on?
Sit down.
What's the situation?
The situation is as I described on the phone.
And?
That's it.
You weren't joking.
No.
And there's nothing we can do?
Time's up.
So what's the plan? To just sit here?
Well, that's what people do when the weather's nice. They sit out and live.
Live?
Live, exist, be, whatever you'd like to call it.
Smith, we can't just sit here and pretend like nothing's about to happen.
We're not pretending, George. What did you say to my students?
I told them to take a long lunch break.
Good. And yours?
I don't have any classes this afternoon.
Lucky.
Smith, you didn't answer my question.
What's that?
What's the plan?
I don't know what to say, George. This is all I have.
Shouldn't we tell people?
What for?
So they can make arrangements. Come on, Professor, there has to be a rule about letting people know.
George, please, be practical.
We have what, 9.5 minutes?
Precisely.
This is ridiculous.
George, you can do whatever you like. I won't stop you. But let me ask you one question. If you were to ask someone, how do you want to die? What do you think they would say?
I've never asked that question.
Humor me.
Well, I suppose they might say that they'd like to die during their sleep, or during wild, passionate sex.
Exactly.
Exactly what?
Just what you said. A person wants to die in their sleep because ignorance is bliss. And during passionate sex because...
Because they want to die doing something they enjoy.
Distracted and happy. Ergo, ignorance is bliss. No one wants to die looking down the barrel of a gun. So with that in mind, let's play it through. You run around screaming the sky is falling, you wake everyone up. You stop them from, what, fucking? And running and swimming and playing frisbee. I know it sounds extreme, but maybe we should just calm down and just let everyone get on with their day.
8 minutes.
It's a beautiful watch.
My mother gave it to me.
Ah, I remember you saying, can I have a look at the back? Ah, vintage Cartier. Beautiful.
What are you doing?
Time is a distraction. George, you came, you committed. Let's just enjoy the time that we've got.
No, I'm sorry, Charlie, I can't.
George, please.
No, I can't just sit here and pretend like nothing is about to happen.
George, get out of your own way, please.
I just bought a trip to Greece to visit Athens for the first time. The students, they have their Henry V rehearsals start next week. just about to give Charlotte Parker's essay on Jeff James's adaptation of Persuasion an A star.
George, I know. I'm sorry.
If ignorance is so bliss, why'd you tell me?
Because...
Yeah, but because what?
Because ignorance isn't bliss. Ignorance is ignorance. Overcoming ignorance is bliss. Truth, realization, acceptance. That is bliss. I know what I said, but practically speaking, in the minutes before a nuclear event, it's probably best we all just keep our mouths shut. Some people aren't ready for such news, and I thought you were.
Why? Why?
You know why. You remind me of myself. It's your mind. You have a curious mind. And curiosity it's such a rare thing, George. You've always wanted to know how to get to the bottom of things. Well, here we are. The bottom of things. One final lesson.
What lesson?
The reality of existence. The fact that in this cold and violent universe, out of some miraculous stroke of luck, this exists. A pale blue rock that sits about halfway between the center of the Milky Way and its outer edge. A perfectly stable place where elements can turn into complex organisms. These temporary structures that think and feel and explore. And that being said, just with everything, they fade away. Death for you and I was always inevitable. Death for humanity was also always inevitable. Yes. It's truly disappointing that we're going out at the hands of some misguided self-annihilation. Truly ghastly. We could have done so much better. Kept the train rolling. Though it's not evident to me that the train should have started in the first place. You have a choice before you now, George. You can either let yourself go, wallow in self-pity, lament the loss of your future, or you could regulate yourself. An act of acceptance, a brave acceptance. Face up to the reality that's before you and live now.
Okay. And there's nothing we can do.
All we can do is not make it any worse than it already is.
And you're certain?
My friend, he wouldn't make this up.
It's not going to hurt?
Well, I wouldn't think so.
I heard a poem once in a pub of all places. Poet chef. It went, nothing is everlasting apart from creation and destruction. The dance they perform is merely the waltz of life and death. It's a damned conclusion and an inspiring hope. Neither will prevail, simply trade blows and embraces. One shall overpower the other to the point of utter defeat, only to shatter as the omnipotent force that is the balance of life asserts its unforgiving yet sometimes merciful verdict. all we can do is dance and die. So dance with grace, and maybe death will be momentarily stunned by the show.
Thank you, George.
I still feel a bit shaky though.
Oh, death will do that to you.
What do you think will happen?
What do you mean?
Well, what does religion have to say, you know, a life after death?
That's a good question. The Buddhists and Hindus believe in reincarnation, though I'm not sure what that means for now, considering there's not going to be much left after today. Well, the Christians, to some extent Islam, believe in life after death, that God will reveal himself to you on the day of judgment, and all your behaviors will be laid out bare for all to see, and that hopefully you've behaved well enough that you'll get into heaven. Does that all help?
I think so. It's nice to have some theories, although religion rarely favoured our relationship.
No, don't suppose it did.
Would you change anything?
No.
You? No. I forgot to ask, what are we drinking?
It's 20-year-old Balvenie.
Expensive stuff?
Just a little.
How much?
Well, we wanted to go out in style.
How much?
200.
200.
2,000.
2,000? No.
Well, I thought it was the best investment in our future that we could make.
Well, no. What were the other options?
Well, it was always going to be whiskey. I thought maybe a nice bottle of red, but then you'd have to decant it in order to do it properly. And then there was gin, but well, that's just so depressing. Beer, well, I'm too old for beer. Vodka. I'm not an alcoholic. Besides, what do you want? A pina colada? No, whiskey. The purity of the drink leads to the clarity of the soul. Cuts through all the bullshit. And here we are.
That's
now.
nice. It's really nice.
No, it's better than that. It's right. Very right. Do you have any music?
Do you want to play something?
Nothing in particular.
I have my headphones.
Yeah.
What would you like?
Well, it doesn't matter. You decide.
No, I'll fuck it up. You could come on. You choose.
Well, do you have a good classical playlist?
Yeah, of course.
Well, shuffle it.
Really?
One last risk. Let fate decide.
Okay.
List.